It means that Krishna is so beautiful. He's the essence of all beauty, the reservoir of pleasure. But his beauty is eclipsed millions and millions of times by the beauty of Lord Sri. Sri Krishna decorated so gorgeously, like Natavara, so fancy, like Odissi dancers when they tie up their devotees with like 50 plates, and big bells on their ankles, and ladies with their hair twisted in a bun and a huge, like a crown of thickly woven jasmine flowers. Beautiful, beautiful kajal going inside their eyes, and big eyes, and the way they move, and everything's so exaggerated and extreme, so beautiful, so rich. Krishna creams all of them to nothing by his beauty, by his... They have to practice so much for hours and weeks and months and years, their movements and everything, and he's just, his spontaneous natural movements defeat them millions and millions of times. But he cannot compare. Krishna's beauty, there's no comparison to that beautiful, lavishly decorated Krishna. And Gauranga Mahaprabhu with his head shaved, and no peacock feather, and no fancy dhoti, and no anything but one simple saffron cloth around his waist. And a knot, a string with knots in it in his hand. And that's all he has. Tilak and a bald head, and a piece of cloth around his waist, and a string with knots on it. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And he's millions of times more beautiful than that Natavara Krishna. Because flowing with wave after wave after wave, decorated with all the opulence of Radha Bhav. So many bhavs, every eye spilling with tears and trembling and voice choking, and every moment fresh moods of loving ecstasy. We cannot imagine what are the kneecaps of Krishna. We cannot imagine what is the bhav of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, how he's decorated with ecstasies of love for Krishna. How that beautifies him millions of times more than the lavishly gorgeous prince of the forest of Vrindavan. So hearing about Mahaprabhu and his associates and the way they love each other and the way they come together to perform kirtan and forget the world, we want that. We want to come together and perform kirtan and forget this world and rise up in the rocket ship of Sankirtan. We want that so bad. But we can't get out of first gear. Can't get off the ground. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Repeat, and then I repeat, and then you repeat, and then I repeat, and then you repeat, and I repeat, and you repeat. Okay, that's enough. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Moving on. With Gaur Sundar, they can't stop. It's described. Mahaprabhu, he decided he wanted to do a drama. We mentioned it the first night. We promised to mention it. Speak about it. He said, I'm going to dance in the mood of Lakshmi. And Chandrasekhar Acharya is very wealthy. He had huge gardens and a huge piece of land. Just he was Mahaprabhu's next door neighbor practically in Mayapur. And everyone was in love with Mahaprabhu. After his conversion, and he became a devotee, all the Vaishnavas, they were completely carried away in bliss. Because everyone always loved Nimai Pandit. But he was so arrogant and so proud of his scholarship. And the Vaishnavas always used to think if only he would become a devotee. When he became a devotee, they were just completely drunk, stupefied with happiness day and night. And Mahaprabhu, one day he said, I have a desire, I want to dance in the mood of Lakshmi. So can you arrange? And Chandrasekhar said, yes, I'll make the stage, I'll get the costumes, I'll get everything. And so Mahaprabhu came there in the evening, one night. All the devotees came and Mahaprabhu said, okay, I'm going to dance tonight. But only those who control their senses should come. That's the restriction. He's going to very beautifully embody the sweetness and beauty and the moods of this goddess of fortune. So no one should be lusty, no one should try to enjoy by their eyes the beauty of the goddess of fortune. Therefore only those who control their senses should come. Advaita Acharya drew a line on the ground. He said, well, Prabhu, you just disqualified me. And everyone else started hanging in, and they said, me too, I feel the same way. And everyone became upset. They were so happy to hear Mahaprabhu say, I will dance in the mood of Lakshmi. They all became depressed when he said, only the sense control can come. He's like, oh, I can't go. Mahaprabhu said, okay, don't worry. I'll give you my Shakti, I'll give you power. All of you will be able to control your senses. Yay! Everyone got happy. So they made, not just Mahaprabhu, but there's so many players and everything. Who do you want to be? Haridas Thakur, he became a guard of Vaikuntha. He would walk through, swinging, he had a big handlebar mustache, and swinging his cane, he would go through the audience. Alright, everyone listen up. The Lord is going to dance tonight. Advaitacharya said, what will be my role? Who said, anything you want, you be anything you want. And he couldn't decide. He became overwhelmed, and Prem overtook him, and he just started dancing and taking off his clothes. And his usual mad antics, and that was it. He just danced for a while. So in the back, Mahaprabhu was getting dressed, decorated. Beautiful, beautiful sari and makeup and hair tied. Already he has this long hair and tied up full of flowers. You cannot imagine how he would be decorated by the hands of those expert Premi devotees. And Mahaprabhu, in the midst of getting ready to play the mood of Lakshmi, suddenly another bhav came in his heart. The mood of Rukmini. We mentioned last night about marriage with Rukmini. How Rukmini fell in love with Krishna by hearing Harikatha. And she sent a letter. Krishna, I only love you. Please come and take me for your own. Otherwise, I cannot live my life as anyone else's beloved. You alone are mine. So in that mood, this mood of Rukmini overtook the heart of Mahaprabhu, and he came out on the stage, lost, carried away in that ecstasy. Not thinking, okay, now is the time that I do this part. Now is the time the choreography is where this part comes. Now is the part where I tell this story with my hands. Not like that. Just spontaneous, the mood of the bhav of Rukmini, just living in him. So astonishing, everyone thought, is this really Rukmini? They couldn't recognize him, Lord. And dancing in this mood of Rukmini, in love with Krishna and pining for him far away, having fallen in love with him through Harikatha. It's a deep subject matter, I'm not too qualified to explain properly. But all the devotees, a special type of empathy with that mood. All devotees have not seen Krishna but have fallen in love with him through Harikatha. And now here's this thing, that very principle, in extreme, fully blossomed form, and everyone was crying and crying and crying, falling on the ground. Mahaprabhu, in the mood of Rukmini, he fell down on his knees and he wrote his letter to Krishna. His pen was his finger, and his ink was his flowing tears, and the paper was the earth itself. He danced and danced and danced. And then after that, another bhav came. He entered the mood of a Brajagopi, and then everyone was surprised, and then he finally entered into the mood of Radharani. One after the next, the different Shaktis of the Lord, their bhav overtook him and he danced, and all devotees were watching, and crying, falling in fits of ecstasy. At the end of the night, when the whole night passed and they didn't know how. At the end of the night, when the sun started coming up and the sky began to get light, they all were crying in a new way. All were so sad and holding each other, trying to console each other. How a night like this can end. Alas, alas. Nityananda Prabhu had come in the form of Purnamasi Yogamaya. He played the role of Purnamasi, but he lost it in ecstasy and began dancing and forgot his costume was falling off and carried away by waves of bhav. So Mahaprabhu, by his grace, understanding the separation with his devotee's heart, no, don't let it end. He manifested such a brilliant effulgence that all the outside people that were wondering, what are they doing in there? This brilliant light came out from the house of Chandrasekhar, and no one could see. From outside, any person who wanted to look through the garden or see what was going on, they couldn't see because Mahaprabhu was shining so brilliantly. Only his associates could see, and for 7 days, it continued on and on and on and on. At the first dawn, he saw their hearts were breaking, and so he extended this pastime for 7 days and 7 nights continuously. Hearing this type of pastime from those devotees who have that mood in their heart, how this type of love and affection, how the Lord has compassion for his devotees, how the devotees are attached to the Lord, another type of greed comes. These things are still a little bit far away though. You cannot really imagine what it's like for a person to exhibit an effulgence that blinds the whole neighborhood for 7 days. So Yogamaya, having compassion, she extends another bridge to us. First is Krishna Lila. She's attracting us by that, but it's still out of reach. So Krishna Lila comes into this world, comes closer to us through Gaura Lila. And Gaura Lila is so wonderful, there's so much hope. I want also to enter into that pure Sankirtan Ras Seva. If the great Seva of Goloka Vrindavan is to make baby Krishna dance for a ladu, or to wrestle with him and pin him to the ground and defeat him, or else to bring him sweets made by his beloved, if these are the great Sevas to chastise him and joke with him of Goloka, then the great Seva of Gaura Lila, the best way of pleasing Gauranga is singing, playing a mridanga, playing kartal. So we don't know anything about those type of. We lost even the school of Narottam and Srinivas. They made their own styles of playing mridanga, their own kirtans, their own rags and things, but that's broken down over time, and now we have a few mantras left. But that was another time, another era. And Mahaprabhu's seva is accomplished by kirtan. The most intimate service to the Lord, the fulfillment of his deepest desires, the greatest pleasure can give to Gauranga is by singing with bhav. Singing the name of Krishna with bhav according to, knowing what he's feeling right now and singing according to that. That's seva. Devotees attain greed. Hearing about that, I want that seva. I want to serve Mahaprabhu like that. It's still so far. So Yogamaya has mercy on us. She understands and she extends. Get another bridge into her life, and that is the Vaishnava. That's the Vaishnava. Also purely Yogamaya. Also it's Leela. It's a drama. Fully sacred and holy and transcendental. The pastimes of our acharyas. Coming right down to the pastimes of our own Gurudev. So, Yogamaya, she brings that. Lila Katha, from the beginning, we start to hear Hari Katha and we get nourished and we learn how to practice and we clean our heart and we come to the stage of Ruchi and we start to hear that Lila Katha in a way that makes greed. And finally that Lila Katha, that Lila dimension manifests in the form of the Acharya in our life, in the form of the pure devotee in our life. We enter into Lila, into that transcendental flow of Yogamaya by giving our heart and our life to Vaishnava. You see, first of all, their relationships with each other. I think I'll wait till tomorrow. Tomorrow's our last night. I think tomorrow night we'll just speak about that. Yogamaya. If Yogamaya manifests on one side as Vrindadevi. Vrindadevi is Tulsi. Tulsi is Bhakti Devi. So Tulsi is one aspect of Yogamaya, and that's Bhakti. Yogamaya, Gurudev said, is also prema. What is Yogamaya that bewilders Krishna and makes him think he really is just a village boy? That's prema. Yogamaya means prema. God is love and love is God means that the Supreme Controller is controlled by love. Therefore, love is supreme over God. Love is the real God if she controls God. Yogamaya is the personification and Leela is the manifestation of prema. How would we know what prema is if there wasn't a Leela and players to demonstrate it? Leela equals prema. That's what it is. Yogamaya equals Leela equals prema. It's all the same flow. And prema manifests in this world to us in a tangible form, in the form of Harikatha, in the form of Vaishnavas, pure Vaishnavas. And when we see their interactions and their relationships, and we get some greed, oh, I wish I could make friends with a person like that. I wish I could have a relationship like that, with a person like that, a pure transcendental friend. If I could have pure loving exchanges with a pure transcendental person, oh, that's what I really want, actually. Now I know. That's our live link to Yogamaya, to Leela, to Prema, to Goloka. That's where the bridge, Golden Gate Bridge or the Brooklyn Bridge, it's great, but you can't do anything with it until it touches your shore. Where it touches, that's your entry point, and you can cross over. So where Yogamaya touches, crosses over from the transcendental world and touches our world, touches our life, the touch point is the Vaishnava. Their Harikata, their lotus feet, their pastime. So tomorrow night, I want to speak about that. Sometimes people say, we're all here because of Srila Prabhupada. Right? Because Srila Prabhupada, what he did, he went and he preached everywhere, all over the world. And we're all here because of that. I don't agree. I'm not here. You're not here because of Srila Prabhupada. We're here because of the love between Srila Prabhupada and his Srila Prabhupada. So when his Gurudev said, you go and preach in the West, and that's all he said, and Prabhupada, he loved his Gurudev so much he thought about it for 30 years. His life and his soul. Who? What? His Gurudev is his life and his soul. And Guru Vani is non-different from Gurudev. So Gurudev's instruction, go to the West and preach, is Gurudev for him. He said, the first time I saw my Gurudev, I learned what love is. When I saw my Prabhupada, I learned what love is when I saw him. And when he saw me, he loved me immediately with transcendental love. It was immediate connection of love and affection, eternal bond. That bond, that yoga, that union, that pastime of these two transcendental persons who are qualified to enact pastimes of love, prem vilas, that's why we're here. And maybe everyone here, this Brooklyn temple, the deities came from my Gurudev. Why are the deities here? Why does this temple exist? Why did ISKCON ever start without the Mridanga, without deities, without books? How will it be possible? Because my Gurudev and his transcendental love with Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada wrote to Gurudev, the same way that my Gurudev loved me, I love you. Certainly our relationship is based on eternal, spontaneous love. We're all here because of love between Vaishnavas, between pure devotees, because of their relationship. These two personalities love each other so much it overflows and it makes the whole world change. The prem vilas between pure Vaishnavas. Sitting in Vrindavan, Srila Gurudev said so many times, when Srila Prabhupada was living in Radha Damodar, he would go there. Prabhupada was living alone, he had nothing, he sat on the bare ground. Gurudev used to give his own charter for Prabhupada to have something to sit on. Such austerity, such simplicity. Sit there, we take prasad together, Srila Prabhupada would roll the chapatis, and Gurudev said, and I would puff them. To us, it's like, okay, I mean, how many things you guys cooked together today in the kitchen? Do you think about that tonight? No. Gurudev spoke about that 30, 40, 50 years later, talking about rolling and puffing chapatis together. Their rolling and puffing chapatis is not the same as ours, because everything they do is full of grain. Gurudev said then we would go in front of Radha Damodar for arti. He said your Swamiji would play the mridanga, and I would sing Bande Rupa Sanatana. Mula Prakriti Didi said, Gurudev, Srila Prabhupada wouldn't sing? Only you were singing? Gurudev said, he didn't sing. Why wouldn't Prabhupada sing? Gurudev said, too much weeping. He would just play mridanga and cry. He would sing like cartoons. These pastimes went for years and years and years. Gurudev, when he found out that Srila Prabhupada left his house, but he was still trying to make medicines. You know, he was making his, twisting up little packets of Ayurvedic medicine in Mathura. He was staying by Vishramgarh or Bengali Ghat in Yamuna, and Gurudev found out that he was there. And he went by force. And he didn't ask Srila Prabhupada's permission. Prabhupada is his senior, you know, like Chacha Guru. The godbrother of his Guru means he's his own Guru, Guru Tattva. And he also said, he's like my Shiksha Guru. But what's his relationship with his Guru Tattva? He went and packed his bags in front of him. Come on, the rickshaw's waiting. You're not staying here by yourself. You're going to come and stay with us and let us serve you in the temple, in the mosque. He brought Prabhupada by force to Keshavji Gaudiya Math. When he came there, Gurudev was a sannyasi, so senior, the first three sannyasis of Srila Bhaktivedanta Keshav Maharaj, so senior and so recognized, so powerful personality with brahmacharis under his care. He was the temple president in that temple. He could have told any brahmachari clean this room. He himself got on his knees and wiped the floor and cleaned the floor where Srila Prabhupada would stay. He could have just said to anyone, clean this room, my friend is coming. No, out of love.